How do? This is much in the waiting or much delayed video. Each time I tried to do this, there was a new update, new update, new update, and it kept accumulating, and I kept sitting down to jot down a couple of notes and let's get this done, and then a new update, and then a new update, and then, other things have happened, doctor's appointments, etc. Anyhow, we're doing it. We're finally doing it. And it's, of course, as you can probably guess by my background, my favorite. I love this picture. This is a great picture. An amateur astronomer took it. Again, I don't have his credit. I always crop off the credits, and I'm sorry, guys. Not mine. Belongs to somebody else. They deserve all the credit, and I keep chopping it out of the frame. But anyhow, yes, it's going to be 3iAtlas. Yes, here we go. 3iAtlas shooting along, and there's you can see one tail here. Believe it or not, that's a count. That's the anti-tail, the counter tail, which means, our sun. Ooh, that looks wrong. But our sun's over here, and the tail's going towards it. And it's not supposed to. It's supposed to be like this. Just have to go away from it. Solar wind's taking it and blowing it out that way. But this bugger is doing this. And then a little anti-tail's off in direction of travel. But again, 2 jets, but that's not unusual. This is unusual. And this is like the distance from the Earth to the moon. This is a huge, huge, huge trail. All right, there's my finger going. From here out to here is from like the distance from the Earth to the moon. Big. Impressive. And it's maintaining that jet. Very impressive. So, now, let's get this started with this blob. This is 67P. 67P is an asteroid. This asteroid we landed on. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a comet. Oh, my apologies. 67P. This was a comet, which we landed. We had it was a dual system called Rosetta. Rosetta, they circled it north to south, east to west, space. Who knows which direction? But anyhow, took pictures of it, scanned the whole thing, looked for a landing place so we can send down Pele, its lander, to land, and we actually landed on this asteroid, comet. Of course, if you remember, we tried to calculate its mass as best we could. And of course, remember, Newton, equal and opposite forces. And our lander came down and was supposed to fire off some jets and stay. And it came down, fired off some jets, and those jets, our lander back out. Equal and opposite reaction. We didn't quite calculate it. Probably those sig figs will get you every time. Anyhow, point of this is, take a look at the shape. This is an asteroid, so they're not always these nice, round objects. You might, you think it's round and it's got that beautiful coma, the center, and the tail coming off of it, and it's all geometrically smooth. This is probably more popular than most. It's still an oddball, but still okay. Get where I'm going with it, okay? Same thing again. Same guy. Picture. There's that flat surface which we were just looking at. That angle was the flat surface, and there's almost a flat surface there. And then a bump and another bump. This almost looks like a turtle, an inverted turtle going this way, or it may not be inverted. It's space. Who knows? But anyhow, just again showing you the picture. They're not symmetrical. Okay. Now, looky here. This is the same guy. Another angle of it. Another angle of this thing. Again, here's the bigger loop. There's the smaller hoop. Sunlight side. And it is off-gassing. See, the sunlight is heating it, and you can see the gas coming off of it. And this was like there's like a bulge over here the sunlight was hitting, and we're getting gas jets coming off of it that way. And you can see little areas here that'll warm it up. Those we're doing a little cooking too. But look at that. See? Jets. And multiple little jets. Little jets. Okay? Again, same guy. Sun side, that way. Sun side's that way. Look at all the jets. Look at, see? It's heated up, and the jets are coming off of it. Now again, these are not as prominent jets as 3iAtlases, and we're going to get there. But I mean, these it does what it does, and then it has a very faint tail. This did not have much of a big tail to it at all. But again, these are jets going towards the sun, okay, and then the solar wind will take them and send them in the appropriate direction. If the sun's here, the solar wind will shoot that way, and it'll probably make a comb and come back like that. Okay, so pretty normal. But I just want to point out, we got jets going towards the sun. Jets towards the sun. Same guy. Another angle. Jets, 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 jets. And this is all, cooking, warming up from the sun. So you can see it warms up. It starts, it's off gassing. There's, jets going off all over the place. Little ones, but still, jets all the same. Jets all the same. Boom. Look at that. Sun side, that way. You can see where the reflection is. There's the sunlight. So the sun has to be that way. And now, there's one hell of a counter. Speak right, Jethro. There's one hell of a tail going that way because of that. But again, normal. It's just warming up and off gassing, which then this again will curl back around and make a normal tail. It's exceeding the solar wind for the moment, but it'll give up and come back. Or when it gets cold, it'll, when it rotates or, whatever. Anyhow, sun side again. Here we go. Ta-da! You can see the shade, so the sun's not over here. Jets, 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 and more jets again. And this one's like really cool. This is really cool. Solar side, sun side. This area was in the shade, as you can clearly see, but you can still see jets coming off of it. Little guys just right in here, but they're still off gassing as the sun goes into that, goes in. Or you can sunlight goes in there. And these little guys are popping up, which is pretty cool. Here they are again. I'm not sure if that's photo enhanced or actual jets. I'm guessing those are probably photo enhanced because it looks pretty sharp. But then again, so does the resolution on this picture. So that may be exactly what they look like. I'm not sure. I didn't double check. Anyhow, back to 3iAtlas. 3iAtlas. We've seen this image of it. Sun's that way. Little bit of a tail going towards the sun. We're usually used to it doing this way. The sun would be over here. The sun would be over here. And the jets would be going that way. Once they plume out and circle and go back, whatever, or straight out the ass. Straight out the back. But, no, this is, the sun is back over here. And the jets are going towards it. And here, this is a thermal image, or I'm not sure which resolution, angstroms they took of it. And again, this is a sphere. It's a sphere, but when you look at a sphere flat on, it tends to, make rings. So you'll see, what looks like rings as you're looking straight into a sphere. So you can see hot, 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 hot. This is all very hot. And there's like almost like a shield around the coma, and not like Star Wars or Star Trek shields. It's just off gassing all the way around it, kind of a thing, or coming off like it. But when you're looking at it, you can see the layers of heat as it's going. Oh. Now here, this is a newer one, and look at that off gassing. There's the center of the comet. That's an off gassing going forward. Okay, so the solar winds are over here. The sun is over here. Okay, and it's jetting that way, and that's the direction of the solar wind. That's kind of normal. Although, damn, look at that fine ass jet. But this is the anti-jet. This is going again towards the sun. That's huge. That is huge. You'd think it'd be the other way around, but no. It's got a jet firing towards the front, apparently, and a huge anti-tail going back towards the sun. This boy is confused. And here's a blow up of the one I showed you earlier. As you can see that, the white towards the center, these are, incredibly hot as it goes on out. And again, this is, you're looking at a sphere, side cut. chop an onion in half, and you see the rings coming out. Treat. Um, and again, it's hot, colder, colder. Well, it gets colder slower, but I mean, it heats up and then fades out, and still you can see a directionality to it, and that's going towards the sun. Again, it's supposed to be, the sun's supposed to be over here, and it goes away from it because of the solar wind, and other, primarily solar wind. These are cool. Now we got these ones just recently, and it's 3iAtlas, and this one shows up. You can clearly see 3 tails. There's the anti-tail going towards the sun. Sun's that way. There's that jet going forward-ish there. One going that way. And looks like a fourth one hanging right in there. Well, this is totally cool. But I mean, look at the heat. Yeah, look at this. And again, I think here they took out the core so you can see the jets better. But you can clearly see 1, 2, and 3 jets coming off of this guy. Holding this image. We're getting somewhere. Again, this is more recent. A shot, again, using thermal imaging. Again, not sure angstroms and, little notes down there. But again, 1, 2, 3 jets. Holding formation. And this is recent. This was November. This is December. Again, 1, 2, 3 jets. Holding. Each time we take a picture of it, we're getting pretty much 3 jets in the same kind of orientation, which is also interesting is look at the angle, and the angle, and the angle. They're almost like 160 degrees to each other. That's, very odd to be that consistent. And again, here you can see with the jet, there's a jet, pretty nice cone to it. But as it leaves, it fades and fades and fades. As it leaves, it fades and fades and fades. Again, this is this looks kind of normal stuff in here, except for it's 2 going in 2 different directions with high force. And then we got this one, which is still holding a beautiful cone shape. And look how big that sucker's still going. It's still, look at the heat coming off, and look at all that. That is intensely huge. And remember, from the Earth to the moon's still that way more. It's huge, and it's maintaining this image. All right. Now, oops, back that one up. What I did, and this is my own little fun. I took this image, and I took this image. Again, here's our great special effects toy here. Okay. With our jets. Okay. Now, what I did with this is I took, here's our y-axis. Here's our x-axis, okay? And I took it, and we'll spin it on the y-axis. So we have the jets, and we're going to spin it this way. So as we do it this way, we should have a maintain of, jets and jets. And it actually kind of, when you spin it, because this is, spinning on the Y, you can see it kind of filled out with as the jets went around, as they would like a sprinkler, okay? And it's doing a little spin like that, and this is going, okay, got it. It kind of filled out, and, that looks cool. It looks like a star almost to itself. Heat, center. And again, this is me taking the images, combining them, and putting a spin on them, okay? Now, did the same thing on the x-axis. This one I took it this way. Again, my x, just took it straight on the x-axis, and let's spin it. Look at that. That's pretty cool. And again, we get, we kind of have like the center one going off of here, which is like that main anti-tail, and then, a little fun. Again, AI did this, but I put in the numbers and, had some fun with it. But you can still see the formation to it. That's, pretty cool. Yeah, this one, I took our friend, took our friend and I put it on the slope. That's okay. We're assuming we've got, our y, our x. This will be the slope. Okay. Remember that from algebra. Okay. So I put it on that slope. The pictures I showed you before, the two, put it on that slope and spun it. I got that. It almost repeats, the image almost regenerates itself, which is cool, which kind of tells you something. See what I'm going with this, okay? It, the pattern holds, which is kind of cool. Now, I took it on the slope and incorporated the, remember this is a wobbling football that is spinning, okay? And it is, I think they said about 9 degrees off from like a straight slope. So if here's the slope, it's kind of, it's kind of doing this, okay? So it's kind of spinning and it's off, 90 degrees, or not 90 degrees, 9 degrees. 9 degrees off the slope angle. And it's doing a little bit of a wobble like that. And I got that image, which, okay, it's still holding. I mean, you still have the, the tail fanning out, the tail's fanning out. Pretty cool. 1, 2, 3 jets still holding. Consistency is, incredible. And took this one too. Got this one. I like this one. This one, again, I took it off of the 3y. I took it off of the slope and the 9 degree and the spin and the. I was having fun with spinning it. Okay, and it generated another image from a slightly different data set that I put in, and we got the 3 images. Nice, big. They got the nice center core here. This is the main jet kind of going off that way, and some artifacts. Main jets going off this way, and I like the little circular artifacts. AI kind of filled in some blanks here. All 3 of these, all of them. Again, I just took those images, put in some calculations, put in the slope, kind of slope angle, gave it a 360 spin, depending on which axis I was using, and see what image AI came up with, which I think is pretty cool. What else do you do on your weekend, Scott? Anyhow, it's our good old friend 3iAtlas and that interesting little tail. The tail of the tails. And again, this is fantastically long and it's holding consistently despite spin, despite distance. It is still maintaining its tail. I mean, it's heading towards Jupiter right now. And no, it's not going to become another Jupiter moon. No, it's not going to start doing weird things to Jupiter. Didn't come all this way to be panspermia and nailed Jupiter as a giant. Okay, sorry, kids, get out of the room. Anyhow, no, it's probably is going to shoot by, and the energy, well, it is energy, per se, but the gravity will probably grab it and put a little spin to it, a little turn in its path, and send it off in another direction, and it's going, it's out of here, it's up, it's gone, it's a home run out of here, and we'll most likely never see 3iAtlas again. And some of you might be going, "My God," and some of you might be going, "Okay, oops, there's the start of them. We don't need to start all over again." So now we come to this. Okay. No. There's several web channels. I'm not knocking anyone personally at all. Not at all. It's just they're saying, look, they had a report on the CIA Atlas from this CIA Atlas. Sorry, a report on 3iAtlas that they asked Central Intelligence for what they had on it. Black Bolt, which is a wonderful website, they do a lot of serious research. They do a lot of good work. I think it's blackvault.com. Yeah, might be blackvault.org. But anywho, they paid for a FOIA to the CIA on anything and everything they have on 3iAtlas. Okay. Folks, open-ended FOIAs, Freedom of Information Acts, whether you ask a court, anything in government, definitely anything from like FBI, the police, CIA, and all other 3 digits out there. Same thing in your military. When you request a document, a FOIA, you can't go, hey, CIA, give me everything, anything and everything you've got on it. You know, you're trying to go down that rabbit hole into the CIA, which not much ever comes up. Oh, and I sold this image too. I stole this. I think it's from a book. Again, I keep forgetting to leave the credits in and crop them out. Not mine, not my artwork. It belongs to somebody. So somebody else. I think it's, again, that was from a book. But anyhow, I just put it because I thought it was cute because, we're not going down that rabbit hole. If you request anything in a FOIA, 2 organizations like this, you are going to get, if you're lucky, a standard generic we don't know, we won't say, we can't say, because we, how wide open is like, give me everything you've got on this. No! They're not going to go and look through every file and find everything they got and send it to you. No, it's a government. No. Okay? Like in the military. If you want your DD-214, that's your record of what you've done. Okay, that was your record while you were with the military. That's your life, your history. You can't go to hey Navy, hey Army, hey whatever. I'm favorite Navy. Sorry, oh not sorry at all. Not sorry at all. Okay. Hey Navy, send me all my records. If you get an answer, it'll probably be, sorry, we can't acknowledge you served, or we can't intend to, we don't know. You have to say, hey, Navy, send me my, it's me, my DD-214, and your serial number, and all the information, and they'll turn around and put, I don't know how long it'll take, it's government, but they'll send you your DD-214. Got it. Done. But you can't go, hey, Navy, send me my stuff. Ain't gonna happen. Hey, courts, send me everything on this. Ain't gonna happen. You have to ask by a specific docket. You need information to a needle point. You need, hey, CIA, please send me on this date, this file name, this file number, 1123BX725. Sometimes you even need to have subject line. Nothing to do with 3iAtlas. And then if they have that document, if it's actually real, eventually they'll send it to you, if it's, not redacted and or classified, etc. But you can't say, hey, I want everything. So if you say, hey, I want everything, you're lucky to get a response back that says, we know nothing, we say nothing. It doesn't mean they're hiding it. It doesn't mean we don't know what the crap you're talking about. And we're not going to go search for it. So you're going to get we have no record. We can either say, accept, approve, believe, or not. Did or did not exist. The existence of any documents. It's just so damn vague. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. So, again, more power to Black Vault. And their report, and you can go look it up, and it says straight out the standard disclaimer from anything from the CIA and governments when you don't specify exactly what you're looking for. It's a common letter coming out. It doesn't mean the CIA is hiding secrets on 3iAtlas. Okay? All right. This is, again, I have nothing against all the people who are putting this in reports and thinking there's something sneaky and mysterious and something's up. And no, it's not. It's not. What is this? What is CIA going to be doing with 3iAtlas anyhow? When did the CIA get into the NASA stuff? They wouldn't. It's an extra letter on NASA. So CIA deals with the FBI, and and NASA's an NSA, NASA. Almost like a Canadian. NA. I gotta follow that. Finish that joke off. Anyhow. Point being, 3iAtlas still maintaining an incredible tail. It shouldn't. A tail towards the sun, which they do, but this one's still, a massive jet and holding a tight conical form of a jet and other jets. And I tried to demonstrate that sometimes, when you spin it, depending on which way you spin it, one, you'll get a wash, sprinkler with all kinds of things going off, or they'll actually almost hold the same image. Kind of, again, there's a lot of fudge, a lot of errors in what I did. I did, quick and simple. I didn't, get out my calculus book and, no, I gunshot at it and go from there. But anyhow, fascinating. It is a fascinating rock. It is, the third interstellar object we ever met, and it is doing weird stuff. And that's cool. Scientists are saying, hey, well, we can explain all of it. We can do this. Well, fine. Yes, they can for a lot of it. But, a lot of it they can't. A lot of it they're guessing, but they're good guesses. But it's still doing a lot of stuff. We don't really know. We're doing our best guess. We're doing our best measurements. Things it shouldn't do. And it's doing it. So it keeps entertaining us. But, it's was it March? When it reaches Jupiter, and then see what happens, what Jupiter does to it. But it's probably going to, put a curve on it and, send it off into oblivion. And then it'll, probably turn right back into a rock and turn its lights off. Christmas lights are done. Put the decorations away. Okay, now, got one more thing to cover here. Solar flares. We have them again. Now, this isn't the one that just recently happened. This is the one that happened back in, as you can see, December 1st. These are the ones, this is similar to the ones we got that put us all those high-level solar storms coming in that actually were possible, radio interference, satellite possible interference, satellite cell phone information possible, interference, beautiful aurora borealis that can be seen, way towards the south by comparison to normal. This isn't that, but we do have more coming. We had several bursts. We had one coming our way, not too big, just, okay, good, it's coming our way. And then the backside just blew out. It went around that way, backside, massive, and it's swinging around, and we're going to catch some of it. I mean, it's not coming at us. It's coming right at us. Now, anyhow, we're going to get some of it. So this weekend, this is Friday, January 9th. We're going to get tonight, Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday. Monday's a holiday, so hey, take some time off. Stay out late. Sunday, watch. See if you can see aurora borealis, if you're lucky in the north. Way up north, but still, anyhow. And also one reason I picked this picture that I liked, and again, some information here. Tried not to cut off all the pertinent data, but this is real. This is a real picture. Someone put in, now Earth's not this close to the sun, but that is the actual size of the sun actual size of the sun. Well, it is the actual size of the sun, relatively, and that is the actual size of the Earth compared to the sun. Okay? Now, the Earth's not that close to the sun. We'd be, non-existent. Mercury would be going so long. We would be gone. But that is the size of the Earth, and this is a small wedge of the pie of the size of the sun, and that's a flare. The Earth could go under and through the arc that happens on those things. When you see them, you see the horseshoe shape coming off of them. Think of it. Now flying, like a space jet going through them, and that's cool and having fun. Anyhow, rich kids do when they, out in space. Anyhow, Douglas Adams. Anyways, that's the size of the sun. That's the size of Earth by comparison. We ain't the big boys on the block, guys. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You start thinking too big about yourself, think about this. You know, it's a big one. It's a big one. So, anyhow, that's it. I know this has gone incredibly long. Tried to, yeah, I didn't try to, I blabbed, but anyhow, I'm blabbing again. Land this ship. Calling it done. Enjoy the weekend. The holiday, if you have the day off, great, more power to you. Enjoy that. Be nice to each other. I know it's not easy. Things are tough. There's a lot of crap going on in the world right now. A lot more than usual. A lot of crap going on in space, too, which is cool. Not related. But, you know, guys, take a breath. Be nice to you. Be nice to each other. May your God go with you. Sabos.